In the heart of the mountains, nestled under a blanket of perpetual snow, lay the charming village of Snowridge. As long as anyone could remember, Christmas in Snowridge was a symphony of delightful aromas. A festive concert played by the village bakery. The scent of freshly baked pastries, spiced cookies, and warm, crusty bread would drift through the winding streets, calling families to gather. It was a time of pure magic. Children, with flour dusting their noses, would meticulously decorate gingerbread houses, their laughter echoing off the frosted windpanes. Families would share these sweet treasures, their hearts as warm as the treats they held. But this year a shadow fell over the village just days before Christmas. A terrible accident, a sudden fire, had struck the heart of their traditions, the beloved bakery. The fire was quickly put out, but the damage was done. The once warm ovens stood cold and silent, their iron doors blackened and warped. The walls, usually adorned with festive garlands, were now scarred with soot. A wave of despair washed over Snowridge. The villagers looked at the broken bakery, and a shared fear took hold. A Christmas without the familiar comfort of baked treats felt like no Christmas at all. Spirits sank lower than the winter sun, and a quiet worry spread from house to house, as thick as the falling snow. In the midst of this gloom, one small voice refused to be silenced by despair. It belonged to Sophie, a young girl with a heart full of kindness and a spirit brimming with determination. Seeing the sad faces of her friends and neighbors, she stood in the village square and declared, her voice clear and strong, "We can't let Christmas be ruined. If we all work together, we can save it." Her words, simple yet powerful, hung in the cold air like a promise. A spark of hope ignited in the crowd. The villagers looked at each other, then at the damaged bakery, and then back at Sophie's hopeful face. A murmur of agreement rippled through the square, growing into a chorus of resolve. They would not give up. And so the great Christmas rescue began. The very next morning, the village sprang into action. Carpenters and builders, their tools in hand, descended upon the bakery. The sounds of hammers and saws replaced the silence of despair as they worked tirelessly to repair the scorched walls and mend the broken roof. Masons carefully rebuilt the brick ovens, their skilled hands working with a speed and precision fueled by community spirit. While the structure was being restored, a call for help went out to the neighboring towns. Soon, bakers from across the valley began to arrive, their arms laden with sacks of flour, sugar, and spices. They came not as competitors, but as friends, ready to share their skills and their ovens to help a community in need. The entire village became a bustling workshop of holiday cheer. The restored bakery was now filled with people, all working side by side. The visiting bakers, alongside Snowridge's own, mixed huge bowls of dough, their combined knowledge creating a wonderful fusion of recipes and techniques. The children, who had once feared a Christmas without cookies, were now at the center of the action. They gathered around long tables, their small hands eagerly decorating gingerbread men, sugar cookies shaped like stars and snowflakes, and delicate pastries, Laughter filled the air as they piped colorful icing and sprinkled edible glitter, turning simple dough into works of art. The elders of Snowridge, keepers of the villagers' most treasured secrets, joined in too. They moved through the bustling bakery, sharing ancient family recipes that had been passed down through generations. They showed the younger ones how to perfectly knead bread, how to get just the right amount of spice in a gingerbread cookie, and how to fold pastry until it was light and flaky. It was more than just baking. It was the passing of a legacy, a weaving of the past into the present. The bakery became a classroom of love, where stories were shared over mixing bowls and wisdom was passed on with every sprinkle of cinnamon. The spirit of cooperation was infectious, turning a daunting task into a joyous celebration of teamwork. By Christmas Eve, a true miracle had unfolded. The bakery stood proud and whole, its windows glowing with a warm, inviting light. The newly repaired ovens were fired up, radiating a comforting heat that pushed back the winter chill. And from its chimneys, the most wonderful aroma once again filled the streets of Snowridge, sweet scent that smelled of hope, community, and Christmas. It was a fragrance more powerful than any they had ever known because it was infused with the hard work and love of every single person in the village. The crisis had been averted and the holiday was saved. That evening, the entire village gathered in the square, their faces illuminated by the twinkling Christmas lights and the glow from the bakery. They sang carols, their voices rising together in a harmonious celebration. They shared the mountains of cookies, pastries, and breads they had all helped create. Each bite was a reminder of their collective effort, a taste of what they could achieve when they stood together. As Sophie looked around at the smiling faces, the shared food, and the overwhelming sense of joy, she had a profound realization. The real Christmas miracle wasn't just about having treats for the holiday. The true miracle was the love, the cooperation, and the pure joy they had all shared in the process of saving the bakery. It was in the hands that helped rebuild, the recipes that were shared, and the laughter that echoed through the busy kitchen. From that year forward, Christmas in Snowridge was celebrated with a deeper meaning. Yes, they still cherished the bakery and its delicious creations, but they also celebrated something more. They celebrated the spirit of helping one another, the magic of working together, and the incredible power of a community united by kindness. Sophie's simple belief had transformed their village forever, proving that the greatest gifts we can give are our time, our skills, and our love. And so the story of the Great Bakery Rescue became a cherished legend, a reminder that even in the most challenging times, we can create our own miracles together. Thank you so much for joining me for this heartwarming story. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales that warm the heart.